What's up, everybody? It's me, Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays, and it's time for another Power Hour where we talk all things football, college, and pros. Before we get started, I got to tell you guys about the nohouseadvantage.com. This is for all of you fantasy players out there, okay? They are changing the game. It's a brand new platform, soup's dynamic, all right? Lots and lots of fun. Head over to nohouseadvantage.com. It's totally free. Download that app with the promo code P&P at nohouseadvantage.com. Download it in the app stores and deposit your first. I thought it was free. Okay, I take it back. It's not free, but when you deposit, they'll give you a first deposit match up to $50. Okie doke. We're live. We can't edit that. Deal with it, people. I've got three expert handicappers from Picks and Parlays on today. I've got Ross Benjamin, I got Sean Higgs, and I got Nick Parsons from the Insiders Room. They're all here to give you guys a bunch of free picks. So let's get the party started with Ross Benjamin. What's up, Ross?
Good. Ellie, how are you?
I'm caffeinated. I can get
That's a scary thought.
I know, right? I'm already a high energy person. 2 cups of coffee. Let's go. I'm ready for some free picks. So we're going to start off with a Wednesday night game. Western Michigan at Central Michigan. CMU minus 11. The total's 49.5. How are we going to play it, Ross?
I'm going to go at this. Unlike any other time I've been on this show, I'm going to look at the first half line here, Ellie. Right now, Central Michigan is a 6.5 point favorite on the first half line. The last I looked, which was shortly ago. And here, keep this in mind. Central Michigan this year has gone 0-6 against the spread as a first half favorite. So they've failed to cover on each and every occasion they were a favorite in the first half this season. Last week is a perfect example. They trailed Buffalo 24-7 at the half. They were a 2-point first half favorite in that game, but they rallied to win 31-27, which seems to be a common theme for them this year. This is also a Central Michigan team that scored 14 points or fewer in the first half of 8 of their last 9 games. And they've been outscored in the first half this year, 182-104. On the other hand, Western Michigan has allowed just 6.3 points per game in the first half over their last 3 contests. I think we just need about 7 to 10 points from Western Michigan here in the first half, and I like our chances. I'm going to take Western Michigan plus the 6.5 as a first half bet over Central Michigan.
I like it. And this sets you up if you are on the CMU side, and this is what comes true. This sets you up for a good second half bet on CMU, either for just the second half of the game or for full game. And now that minus 11 can drop down to something smaller, so you're not laying all those points at a full game premium here. So I'm digging on this. Broncos first half plus 6.5. Don't forget, everyone, like and subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications. Power Hours on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And you can find Ross's best bets over at picksandparlays.net. Don't forget to use the promo code NFL. Okay, so next up on the docket, it's a Saturday college football game. Kansas State minus 7.5 on the road in Morgantown, West Virginia. The total on this one's 55. What do you say here?
Well, clearly Kansas State has been the better team this year and continues to be. However, we're about beating the number and the situation at hand. So let's keep that in mind. Kansas State coming off a 31-3 win at Baylor. Quite impressive in doing so, and they did so as a 2.5 point underdog. That now makes them 7-3 on the season. West Virginia, who needs to win out to even be qualified for a bowl game, I should say, or bowl eligible, whatever phrase you want to use. They got off to a good start in that regard with a 23-20 home win against Oklahoma last week as an 8.5 point home underdog. That now makes them 4-6. If they beat Kansas State on Saturday and Oklahoma State in their finale, they can become bowl eligible and get head coach Neil Brown off that proverbial hot seat, which a lot of the media has indicated he's on. West Virginia is also excuse me. Oh, yeah. West Virginia is also playing with revenge from a 34-17 loss at Kansas State last year. And that ended a 5-game win streak against the Wildcats. Since 2020, West Virginia is 4-1 straight up and against the spread as a home underdog when playing with revenge. So they've really feasted on these types of situations over the last 3 seasons. And here's a college football betting angle that supports this selection. When you have a conference home underdog of 10 or less, like West Virginia, and they're coming off a conference home underdog of 2 or greater, straight up win, and they won that game by 9 points or less, all qualifies because they beat Oklahoma last week, and that was a 3-point game. And they have a losing record on the season versus an opponent 727 or less on the season, 20-4 against the spread since 1983. That's 83.3%. I'm going to take a chance here on the West Virginia Mountaineers plus the 7.5 at home against Kansas State.
I like it. I always like West Virginia at home. I say it all the time. Morgantown's not an easy place to get to. It's tough travel. Getting points at home, I'm always a fan of that. So everything Ross just said, and then plus what I just said also, is where we're going with this. All right, everyone. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We're on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern with your Power Hour. Okay, so let's move into some NFL. Ross, I know you are 33-27 over at Picks and Parlays net in the NFL. People, don't forget to use our promo code also NFL. It saves you 20% off whatever you're buying from Ross at picksandparlays.net. So let's talk Jets at Patriots. I know this number opened closer to a 4. Now we're seeing it 3.5. I want to say I even see some 3s out there. I do. And the total on this one's 38.5. What do you say here, Ross?
Well, I'm going to use 3 as the number. That's pretty
what
much
I see right now too. So.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we got that solved, Ellie. Anyway, look at New England, and Bill Belichick has had the Jets number like a lot of teams' number, but especially so the Jets. New England has defeated the Jets 13 straight times. They've covered 9 of those 13. That includes a 4-0 straight up in ATS as a favorite of 8 or less against the Jets within that time span, and they won those games by 19.7 points per contest. New England already beat the Jets 22-17 at the Jets on 10:30, excuse me. And they covered that game as a 3-point road favorite. Since 2016, the Jets are 0-5 straight up at ATS at New England, losing by 29.6 points per game. I know this is a better version of the Jets, but, you know, when a team has your number, they have your number. New England comes in with a 5-4 record. The Jets are off an upset home win versus Buffalo. They are 6-3, which is a 666 win percentage. Anytime you have a division home favorite like New England of between 3 and 8.5 points, they have a winning record. They're facing a team with a win percentage of 700 or less like the Jets, and that team they're facing is coming off a division home underdog straight up win. Not a lot of situations here, but quite successful. Those division home favorites of 3 to 8.5, 6-0 straight up in ATS since 1998, winning by 18.3 points per game. I think you figured it out, folks. I'm taking New England here, minus the 3 over the New York Jets.
That's a tough one for me because of that line movement. The 4.5 to the 3 just like screams Jets to me. I know they're on the road. I know it's a Belichick thing. You're the expert, Ross. He's going to roll with Patriots minus 3. This might just be a stay away situation for me.
A lot of money on the Jets, Ellie.
Yeah, with the line moving the way that it is. But closer to game time, all this stuff changes around. So make sure you guys are checking your lines, checking your numbers, and checking where the money is at. All right, Ross Benjamin, thank you so much for stopping on the Power Hour. Everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications because we're on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. See you later, Ross. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me, Ellie. Have a great week.
You too. Good luck. Okay, so up next, I have Sean Higgs. I know, right? I'm excited too. Nope, it's not him. It's Nick Parsons. That's who we're going to go with today. Eventually, I'm going to be right one of these times. Okay, so this is our Thursday night game. SMU is at Tulane. We got Tulane -3, and the total's 65 here. How's it going, Nick Parsons? What do you got?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I don't know if you remember, but last week on this show, Allie, I did give out Tulane as well. And of course, it lost 38-31 to UCF. It didn't pan out, obviously, but there's a lot still for Tulane to play for. It has a legitimate shot at a New Year's Six Bowl. So it faces a SMU team that's reeled off 3 straight victories. Its offense has looked really good in those victories. It's scored 163 points combined. That includes a 77-63 win over Houston 2 weeks ago. And then last week, it was a 41-23 victory over USF. But for me, when I'm looking at it from a situational sort of standpoint, as Ross was saying there, this sort of sets up as a sort of a trap or a letdown spot, in my opinion, after it has become bowl eligible there last weekend. There's no question that the SMU offense has been great over the last 3 games, but over those 3 games, its defense has been terrible. Now, for Tulane, it's tied with Cincinnati for second in the AAC, and they meet next weekend. So, I mean, this is a crucial game here for Tulane. And really, I guess what the big question is whether or not its defense can bounce back after last weekend's sort of atypical performance. But this has not been a great spot for SMU bettors. The Mustangs, they're just 1-3 against the spread as an underdog this season, and they have, in fact, lost all 4 games outright as an underdog this season. USF's defense is a lot better than SMU's, SMU's. The Green Wave have a balanced offense, and that includes a top 40 red zone touchdown percentage. This is a much better matchup for Tulane's defense. It's also a better matchup for its offense. SMU's defense is just downright terrible. We've seen it just can't stop anyone. And just another point I'll make: SMU's offense hasn't looked great over it has looked great over the last 3 games, but the defenses that it's faced in those games are all outside of the top 100 on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, maybe call me a glutton for punishment, but I think the Wave get back on track here at home. This is a game that they have to win. So going with Tulane again.
I'm liking this one. The money's moving that way. It opened at a -2.5. Now it's up to a -3. 96% of the cash is on Tulane. This is still really early. We've only got like $13,000 on it right now. This is going to get up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars before the game kicks, but the line's already going that way. So if you like Tulane, also jump on it now, because no telling how high that number could climb as more money pulls in. People at home, like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We're on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you're looking for Nick Parsons premium plays, find them at PicksandParlays.net under the Insiders Room and use the promo code NFL to save you 20% off. Okay, so let's move into the SEC. Saturday game, Georgia -22.5 on the road at Kentucky. The total's 49.5. How are we going to do it with this one, Nick?
Well, Georgia, of course, 10-0 on its way to the college football championship, a massive favorite on the road here. Kentucky is 6-4, so it's eligible. But it suffered a major letdown last weekend, 24-21 at home to Vanderbilt. It was a 17-point favorite. At the beginning of the season, after the first few games, I mean, everyone was loving Will Levis and loving this Kentucky team, but it's been sort of downhill from then, and they're sort of backing their way into a bowl game here, into a lesser bowl. And for Georgia, I mean, it's already clinched the SEC East, and so that means that it's already in the SEC championship game. But just looking at these teams' offensive and defensive numbers, Kentucky, it only averages 22.3 points per game, but it has a really good defense, which only allows 20. Levis has over 2,000 yards passing and a 16-9 touchdown to interception ratio. But then you have Georgia, which is averaging 510 yards per game of offense and only allowing 270. Stetson Bennett, he has 2,895 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I would say that this Bulldogs defense is probably not as good as in years past, but it's still really good. It only allows 82.5 yards per game on the ground, 187.3 through the air. So, of course, I think that Georgia's going to win this game, but I just think it's going to take the foot off the gas in the second half. I think that Kentucky, it can sustain some drives. It's at home here, and it's just really attractive getting all those points. And so, yeah, I think after that terrible letdown last weekend, they're going to give a full quarter effort, even in a loss. So I'm going to grab the points in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the number isn't really moving. It's still that 22.5, and 87% of the cash is rolling in on Georgia, and they're not moving that line. Again, it's still very early, not a ton of cash, but I like the Wildcats at home for exactly what you said. Georgia has clinched. They don't want to get anybody hurt. They don't need to shoot fireworks out of their butts or anything crazy like that. Let's just get the win and move on with our day, right? Kentucky's got a little different of a game plan. They want the win too. Don't think they're going to get it, but 22.5 points, good teams win, great teams cover. Let's talk Wildcats. All right, everybody. Nick Parsons is at the Insiders Room. Find him over at picksandparlays.net for all of his premium plays. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We're on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so let's move in to Sunday, NFL. Browns are at the Bills. Man, that Vikings at Bills game is one of the best football games maybe I've ever watched. That was such a good game. I'm glad I didn't have action on it because I would have been losing my mind either way. Now we have the Bills in this spot. They're -8 at home, still at home, and the total is 43.5. What's going to happen here, Nick? Are the Bills just going to keep the faces of the Browns? Because that's what I think is probably going to happen. What do you got?
Well, you mentioned the Bills game, but did you see the Cleveland game there and playing against Miami? Because actually last week on this show as well, I gave out Miami against Cleveland there. And of course, Miami went on to crush Cleveland by a score of 39-17.
That was my favorite bet of the weekend, actually, was that Dolphins play, and I got it from you. The more and more I thought about it, I was like, Nick's on this, and I bet that, and I got it. So thank you, sir, for making me money.
No worries. But yeah, you know what? This is going to be an interesting game. I just saw a stat this morning, Allie, or just a thing on Twitter about the weather in this game. There's supposed to be 2 to 3 feet of snow going on at the time there in Buffalo while this game is happening this weekend. But yeah, I mean, Cleveland still has a couple games to go before Deshaun Watson is available. It did earn that big win against the Bengals to sort of keep its season alive after a 4-game losing streak. Then it had its bye week. And one of the argument I made last week is I just couldn't see it keep that momentum going after its bye week there and on the road. And that was the case. And so I just really have to wonder how much fight does this team even have left in it at this point? And then on the other side of the ball, as you mentioned, clearly the Bills can't be super happy where they're at right now either. They're 6-3 now after last week's 33-30 collapse to Minnesota. They allowed the 13 points in the fourth quarter. But that said, unlike the Browns, they have lots to play for still here, obviously. They're tied with the Jets at 6-3 for second place in the competitive AFC East. Miami is now 7-3. New England, as we were already talking with Ross there, they already have a winning record. They have a winning record as well at 5-4. I mean, this is a super competitive division, but that's no back-to-back losses for the Bills. I know that the public is all over Buffalo this weekend, but I just don't think that this number is high enough. I like the Bills here, just like I liked Miami last week, which was a big public favorite as well. So yeah, I'm gonna lay the number there on the Bills at home in this, sort of a must-win bounce-back situation.
It's one of those situations when the Browns beat the Bengals. Bengals was my play all day the next week. When the Chiefs nearly lost to the Titans on that Sunday night game, Chiefs was my play last week. They beat Jacksonville by 10 as 6.5-point favorites. This is that same kind of situation where it's just you did something you shouldn't do. Like you got slapped on the hand, you got grounded, and now you're like trying to, look, Mom, I vacuumed. Look, I folded my clothes. You got to make up. This was not supposed to happen to you, and you're going to fix it this week. So I like this too. I mean, I'd lay 10 on this, to tell you the truth, just because I think Buffalo is going to put some stank on the Browns. And I don't think the Browns are going to really be able to do anything about it. So that is Nick's official free pick. Bills -8 when they take on the Browns. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. Power Hours on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Head over to picksandparlays.net. Don't forget to use that promo code NFL when you're looking for the Insiders Room premium plays. Thanks so much for joining us on the Power Hour, Nick. See you next time.
Thanks, Allie. For sure.
Okay, one to go. I promised you Sean Higgs, and I'm going to deliver. Sean Higgs.
Hello.
Just by process of elimination, I had to get that one right. How's it going, Higgs?
Pretty good. Pretty good. What did you say every time you thought I was going to be your guest, the first one, and it was
No, I thought it was Ross Higgs Nick. Ross Higgs Nick. That was what was in my head. But hey, I drank a lot of coffee today. I'm just going. I'm full speed ahead right now. Okay. Eventually, I'm going to hit a brick wall, and it's going to be a disaster. But until then, we're talking Miami, Ohio at Northern Illinois. This is a Wednesday night matchup. Northern Illinois -1.5, and the total's 45.5. How are you looking at this one, Higgs?
Yeah, I'm going to look at a little total on this one, Allie. I mean, Northern Illinois, this team, they last year's MAC champs. I think they were in 6 of the last 8 championship games. Like, this is usually a pretty good MAC team. Like, they're always like early 2000, like 2010 and 2016 in here all the time. This year, though, you're out nothing, no bowls, no nothing. That's what happens when you're on your 4th quarterback. So, not much going on. Miami, Ohio here has to win out to make a bowl. I think that, I like the under here. We have a running Northern Illinois team. Gabbard QB from Miami, Ohio. I kind of like him a little bit. Maybe a little money line on Miami O here, but I'm going under. I just think with the ground and pound of Northern Illinois, that's just the clock milker. And the Miami guy, he was out a little bit. He's back. This team last year, this was a top 25 passing team, so they're pretty good with him behind center. But when you're not healthy, it is what it is. That's how you go from championship games to winning 3 games. So not good teams. And last year we saw a lot of overs. I'm not seeing it this year. Give me the under in this matchup.
Yeah, this went from a 48 to a 45.5. So there was a big line move here. Also, you're right. Miami, Ohio seems to be the play here. It was a -2.5. Now it's a -1. You can catch Miami, Ohio at a little bit of plus money there. It might not be a bad look because that's the way.
And that's all in the quarterback play. You think, I think it's going to be Lynch, the running quarterback for them, for the Huskies. That's why I think we see the line move here from total and sidewise as well.
And there it is. Sometimes it just takes one guy to move a whole freaking line, doesn't it? Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Under 45.5. I like the idea of sprinkling Miami, Ohio. Everybody like and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. Sean Higgs, you're number 2 over the last 30 days on the site. 152 and 121. You're crushing it. Number 3 for all of 2022. If you guys are looking for Higgs premium plays, head over to picksandparlays.net and use the promo code NFL. Like, subscribe, ring that bell. We're on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. All right. Let's get into the good stuff.
Some NFL. I'm having a pretty good NFL season, so let's hopefully we deliver a winner here.
Yes, sir, you are. So the Eagles, I followed this line all day long, and I text my Parlay group last minute, and I said, look, the line says that the Commanders are the play plus 10.5. That turned out to be true. Now we've got the Eagles coming in after a dirty loss. Well, not a dirty loss, like a butt-whooping kind of loss there. They're at the Colts. -6.5. This is like the game I was talking about with Nick Parsons, where the Bills game, where something happened that it shouldn't have happened, and now you're in big trouble and you need to fix it, basically, kind of a thing. What do you got going on this one?
I did have the Commanders myself there on Monday
you
night.
are right, great minds and stuff.
Although, as I preface it, as I'm having a great NFL season, I did go 4-6 this weekend. I had a couple of bad losses. Dallas and the Bears crushed me there. Big 4th quarter leads. And then your Vegas.
Don't
team.
call them my Vegas. I'm from Houston. Okay.
Holy cow!
Don't call them my Vegas that.
You're in Vegas. I'm surprised that guy still has a job. And of which, because of this guy here in the Colts, they come out and say, hey, Sam's our guy. He's our quarterback. Yeah. And then I get Matt Ryan, and then I get the running back. He's back all of a sudden. I bet him against
go against Jeff Saturday on his first game. I could never bet against Jeff Saturday in his first game with the Colts. He's like my favorite center. I think he's my only center I know.
This guy's never coached a game in his life. I mean, what's going on here with Indy?
Where were you? That's why they gave him the Raiders.
Holy cow. Well, again, the Raiders guys should be canned. So anyway, let's go. I like the Colts here. I got the Colts at +8 at like noon today. Lenny, before the show, he's like 6.5. I'm like, 6.5, is that right? I said, I just got him 2 hours ago.
It was a 10. It opened at a 10.
Yeah, it was a 9.5, 10 opener, which made sense because you thought there's the look at it. You didn't think Matt Ryan, as far as I'm concerned, was retired. I mean, he's done. I figured he's not playing again. Running back, he's back apparently. He's ready to go. And again, you have a short week with the Eagles, and as much as people are like, "Oh, the Eagles," listen, the other team made plays. I don't want to hear about a face mask. Eagles are still a good team. This line here at 6.5, this tells me Colts out right here. I mean, now this team has they beat Kansas City in this place. I get Hurts has been fabulous. How is this a 6.5? Are you kidding me? This is an absolute joke. The whole world's going to be on Philly, and of course, I'm against the round earthers. I'm going to go flat earther and take the Colts here and the points. Apparently, I got a healthy running back. I got Matt Ryan's found the fountain of youth, and the offensive line's return. You know, the problem with this team was the offensive line, just the injuries, just crushed them out of the gate. You know, they couldn't get anything done. And we saw Philly give up running yards last night. We saw them last week against Texas. They can't stop a run game. I got now coming into the season, he's supposed to be the best fantasy running back in the league, right? I mean, he's here. Can they stop the run? I don't know. I didn't see him stop the run last night, and I didn't see him stop the run last Thursday. Short week rivalry game for the Eagles. I'll take the Colts here 6.5. Let's go. Sprinkle money line. Money line Colts. I should forget the 6.5.
I got to step into my office. Let me arrange my books or something over here because I can't. And it's situational for me. I totally get what you're saying. I see the way the line is moving. I see all of these things, but it's what I just was talking about with the Chiefs, with the Bengals. Like it's just with the Bills. It's just, I can't on this one. This is a game I'm just not going to bet though, to tell you the truth. These aren't teams that I typically bet on, but I just think situationally the Eagles have to be like, oh my God, what just happened? We're going to fix it. That'll never happen to us again. But Higgs is the expert. Don't listen to me. You know, I just work here and whatnot. All right. So head over to picksandparlays.net. Use the promo code NFL. Find Sean Higgs premium plays. Buy them. He is hot, hot, hot. You're up $2,900. Sorry, $2,900 over the last 30 days. You're up $3,200 for all of 2022. You are crushing the NFL right now. So find Sean Higgs, use the promo code NFL, save 20% off all of his best bets. Until then, like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Power Hours on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Until next time, good luck, everybody.